Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Always Undeniable podcast. I'm your host, Sanai Collins, and today's a little bit different. I'm gonna get into it in 1 second, but I'm back with another installment of sorts of Always Undeniable. So look, let me get right into it. Long story short, I got invited onto a podcast today, or not a podcast, but a radio show for Valley Free Radio called Unscripted, and so that's what I'm gonna be doing today. And I thought I'd film it. Probably, a little day in the life type beat would be dope for the channel, and the more of these I get to do in the future, the more videos like this will come out. So this is the first one. I hope y'all enjoy, and as always, stay blessed, stay positive, stay motivated, and I appreciate y'all for tapping back in for another week of Always Undeniable. Ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we have made it to the Valley Free Radio station. Absolutely beautiful out here in Western Massachusetts. Definitely known for the views, for the vibes. Somewhere in this building, there's a lot going on in there. There's like 9 different signs over there, so but let's get out and just look at the whole scene just a little bit. Very, very nice day. 50 degrees out here on November 3rd, I believe it is. I'm not gonna lie, I got the idea for this kind of rain, very abrupt. Like literally this morning, I was like, yo, you know what? We do I'm doing a day in the life type beat. It's a very nice day. Very nice day out here. Like I said, out in Western Mass and whatnot. Had no idea how to get in this building, so I'll see you on the side. We are currently posted up outside of the Valley Free Radio station where the episode's going to go down. Recording is set for 1 o'clock, and that's in about 18-ish minutes. So we get this done. It's about an hour to record, talk about the podcast, and a whole bunch of different things. I believe it's about 6 segments, so it should be a good time. I'm gonna get back home. I'm gonna watch some football. If y'all are watching and you get to this point, let me know who your favorite NFL team is. I, of course, am a New England Patriots fan. Not too good over the last 4 years or so, but drop your team below. New to this vlogging thing, you know what I mean? I'm used to the podcast part of it, but when it's just me, definitely something to get used to. But expect more of this. Expect it to get better. I expect it to get better. Definitely integrating a little bit more with season 3, season 4, and beyond. So get used to this for sure. But yeah, it should be a very dope episode. And I hope y'all enjoy.
All right, you want to check your level, see how we're doing here?
Let's see.
I think you can adjust it right over here.
This is for...
Yeah, that's for your headphones.
Okay. All right. A little bit.
All right. And let's just test. Let's get your level on the mic too.
All right. Test. 1, 2, 2.
What mic? Oh, your mic here.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Check. We good?
Good. Yes.
All right. Cool.
That sounds good. All right. Yeah. I think that's where we want to be.
Sounds good.
So I'll do the intro and we're in. We're gonna close the door.
Yep.
Good evening and welcome to Unscripted. I'm your host, Chris Fournier. You're listening to Valley Free Radio, WXOJLP. That's 103.3 FM, Northampton, Massachusetts. You can also just stream us right on valleyfreeradio.org on the listen icon, and you're with us. So glad that you're with us, and hope all is well in your world. And I'm very much looking forward to the conversation tonight. We've got Sanai Collins with us tonight. We're going to bring him on and get into it tonight. So just to share that I do appreciate my wife, Mary, was the person that connected us, had a good conversation with you, and seemed to make sense to have you on the show and talk about Sanai, what he does in terms of his podcast, his work, and interest in mental health and wellness. We're going to have all that conversation there. So, folks, without further ado, bring Sanai Collins to the program. Sanai, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm glad to have you. And as I said, Mary connected us, and there are a lot of ties, and I know we're going to know even more folks that we know from Amherst in the Amherst area.
100%.
Yeah, so to start things off, Sanai has a podcast that he's going to talk about as well. Recently graduated from AIC. Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and our friends at NEPM, you've spent time with them, New England Public Media, and your work, also your communications major, and sociology minor. So let's jump right into it.
Yeah.
You know, talk a little about kind of your interests and how you come to this point with the podcast that you've got and your journey.
Yeah, so I've always been a fan of the multimedia field. Going into college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I wasn't the biggest fan of school while I was in school. It was really mostly athletics for me, but toward the end of when I was getting recruited and stuff, I was able to really put it all together from academic and athletic standpoint. So that got me to AIC, and I ended up going in with the idea that I wanted to do journalism. But AIC, they don't have a journalism specific major, so I went into communications because journalism was a part of the programming.
Yes.
And then throughout my 4 years, I got to learn about graphic design, journalism, video production, radio production, broadcasting, everything. And I was like, okay, this is perfect. I made the perfect choice academically and everything like that. And that
Nice.
led me to the podcast. 4 years later during my senior year. As I said, I went to AIC, with the goal to play football. And I did get to do that for a little bit, but I had a couple of bad concussions back to back in my sophomore year and my junior year, so that completely ended my career. And I needed something else to kind of work towards because my whole life was, football and getting to play college football. That's always been my dream. And so, once I got there, it felt fulfilling, but I didn't get the full satisfaction of that. And so all that energy I was feeling about not reaching the actual goal went into manifesting the podcast, and Always Undeniable, which is the name of it, was born.
Always Undeniable?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
Yep.
that. I love that. So tell me about your journey in terms of, you're in your senior year, and we were talking off mic about this, but how did you end up getting connected with NEPM and then kind of out of this growth?
The idea of starting a podcast came to me at the same time where I needed to find an internship before, for graduation requirements. And I went to my advisor. I can't remember who specifically from NEPM, but somebody at NEPM. They had a really good conversation, and that led to me getting the first AIC to NEPM connection and internship. So, yeah.
And what show did you work with?
I worked for the Fabulous 413, hosted by Monty Del Monte and Khalees Smith. It was great. I had a lot of fun. I think you could hear a little bit because I did like an exit interview, and that they aired that before the debut of my show. And I think you could hear how much fun and how much of a connection we had in those 3 months that I was there between me, Tony, who's the executive producer over there, Khalees, and Monty. We all had a really good time. I really enjoyed being there not every day, but I was there Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And there wasn't a single day where I wasn't excited to go. So I had a lot of fun. For sure.
People can hear it, but I can definitely see it on your face too. Just
Yeah.
the warmth, like yes.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It's a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, the folks at NEPM are wonderful. So, and I think I told you before that I've had the pleasure of being the co-chairs of Community Advisory
Yeah.
Board, and so I was there when Fabulous 413 really got started.
Right.
And that program has just taken off.
Yeah.
In wonderful ways.
Yeah.
All right, so, again, folks that are joining us, we're spending time with Sinai Collins, another person from Amherst and the Amherst area, and we're talking about this podcast. And so talk about, you've done this podcast now for what, like 3 or 4 months now?
Like about 6, 7 now.
6 or 7 months.
Yeah.
And share the name again and what kind of you decided to focus this podcast on.
Yeah. So the show's called the Always Undeniable Podcast, Always Undeniable, for short. And basically it's a variety podcast. So each week I have a different guest on, and each episode ranges from about 20 to 30 minutes. It's a variety podcast, but I also have a link between every single episode where I ask people what they're grateful for and what they do to keep their mental health in check, because I think those are two very good things to always be aware of in life, because there's so much to be grateful for. And there's so many different ways people can ease their mental health, because, life can be a lot sometimes. Life can definitely be overwhelming. I know for me specifically, when I was dealing with the concussions back to back, like it was hard to deal with that and come to terms with the fact that I wasn't going to play football again. So it was, being able to find balance and redirect all the negative energy I was feeling into creating something new in the podcast. And, I'm also a producer on the side, so working on my music and, getting into the gym. Those were like crucial for me at that period.
Yeah. All right. On Unscripted tonight, we're spending time with Sinai Collins. We're going to listen to something right now. Let's go listen to something from Logic, Man I Is, and then we'll come back and continue the conversation. Thanks for joining us.
So that's what I use because I was used to it already.
Yeah.
Then I edit everything down, and then I would say by Thursday or Wednesday, I upload to TikTok, upload a reel, upload a YouTube short. So it's, it's in the algorithm and people are ready for the full length. And then Friday at 12:30 every week, I upload the full episode. And then I upload to YouTube, Spotify, and Apple by hand. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
it's a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a good album.
We gotta take this trip.
Yeah, it's worth it. He's a great artist. Yeah, I saw him once in Connecticut, like I think it was 2017 maybe.
Okay.
And it was like right after whatever album he dropped. It was I think it was called Everybody. Yeah, Everybody.
Yes.
It was right after that came out. I went and saw him.
Or not only do you podcast, athlete as well, continue to be involved in that, but your music is part of your world. So still, please share with us kind of how music is in your world.
Yeah, so aside from being an avid music listener my whole life, I picked up producing. That all the credit goes to my dad for that one because my dad's also a producer.
Okay.
He's been making beats for as long as I can remember. I literally remember being like 4 or 5 years old and, running around his house and just hearing his music, just blasting upstairs because he's always been in it and he's a music lover too. I don't think I'm consuming music the same way I would if he wasn't consuming the music the way he consumes music. So
Right.
I think, that is a big part of, I'm looking at this shelf here and this is kind of how my dad's looks. So I produce music and I've been doing that since COVID. Like everything, it wasn't great at first, but after a few months of consistency and, really locking in with it, things got going and I started releasing these short projects and a lot of people from Amherst were really enjoying them. But then I noticed that in other places around the country, people were listening to my music too. So that helped me, continue to keep going. And I've released maybe 8 or 9 projects to this point now, a lot of singles. I have some collaboration with some Western Mass artists. So I've been pretty deep in the music stuff. I'm getting ready to drop something in by the end of November or by the end of the year. So yeah.
Tell me more share about communications and the multiple aspects, because it sounded like you had a really great experience. It was rounded in all these different ways.
Yeah, 100%. So like I said before, going in, I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do, but I just kind of picked communications because at the time AIC was my best option for everything overall, and they didn't have a journalism program, but I knew journalism was a part of the communications program. I had one journalism class, a mass communications class, and then the rest of my classes were like the gen eds. And then the second semester, I took journalism 2, and then I had intro to TV broadcasting as a class. And then the next semester, that's when I didn't have any journalism. And it was kind of all gen eds, I believe. And then that second semester, I wrote for the Yellow Jacket, which is the school paper.
Right.
I did that. I wrote a lot of good stories. Junior year, when I transferred to Bridgewater State because with the concussion the first time, I thought it'd be best to get a fresh start because my freshman year was COVID. My sophomore year is the concussion. I'm like, okay, let me get a reset. And, I entered the transfer portal, and a lot of different schools came to me, but I felt like Bridgewater State was the best. So I picked Bridgewater State. I got out there. Same thing happened with concussions. So I took a bunch of different like pop culture, another type of mass communications class, things like that at Bridgewater, and then finished up at AIC with photography. I finished up with a writing for media class. I finished up with a couple others, communication-based classes, but yeah.
I love it. So you have, this training is in all platforms.
Yeah.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Right. So you're doing the print journalism, but also the audio, video, all of that.
Right.
And photography too. So that's great. That's excellent.
Yeah.
You know what? We're gonna come back. Let's check out another track. This one is Compound with Arab Music, right? And it's another artist that you mentioned.
Yep.
Arab Music. So, folks, we're spending time with Sinai Collins. We'll come back and talk a little bit about mental health and wellness.
So, just finished up with the interview. Very dope. I don't know when this video specifically is going to release in relation to this episode airing, because this airs tomorrow at 8. But just in case it's around the same time, no, it won't be. It won't be. I know what I'm talking about. Well, anyway, catch the replay of this streaming on Rally Free Radio. I'm gonna put it on the screen so I don't miss out. But yeah, that was the day in the life. Sunday, about to go watch some NFL football. Make sure y'all come back here next week for another episode of What Was Undeniable. Might be an episode, might be in the day in life, it might be both. We'll see what happens. But until then, stay blessed, stay positive, stay motivated. This has been the What Was Undeniable podcast.